This is John for Johngy's Beat. I've got a very special guest today. I've got John Bullard of Chicagoland Championship Wrestling, making its debut October 3rd. Welcome to Johngy's Beat.
Hey, it's always great to be on your show, my good friend, and one of the best interviewers in the business today, in my opinion. So I'm always glad to be on the show with you.
Well, flattery will get you everywhere, my friend. Appreciate it. And you're one of the best interviewees, if I may say.
Oh, thank you.
So I mentioned, which is the whole point of this, I mentioned October 3rd. Tell us what's happening on October 3rd.
Well, October 3rd, we're going to have the show at the American Legion Post 451 in Michigan City, Indiana. For the fans, we're doing old school studio wrestling with the Midwest talent with a modern day twist. Definitely want to show up. Doors will be opening at 6 p.m. Bell time at 7. The tickets are $10 for single tickets, $30 for a family of 4. You can't beat that. And it's going to be a great night of action with one hell of a lineup that I think for wrestling, no matter where you're at, the East Coast, West Coast, or no coast, you're going to have a great time. And honest to God, it's going to be a fun time for the entire family and friends.
And for the heavyweight title, the main event, I guess, would be, you've got a 3-way going.
Yeah, Vic Capri got injured, of course. He had a torn tricep, so he's out for 4 to 6 months. Which, if Vic's watching this, I hope he gets to healing up. He's a great guy. He'll be at the show to talk to the fans, and he'll be on commentary as well too. But yeah, the main event got changed up. It's the Chicagoland heavyweight title. Marche Rocket versus the Shogun Chris Logan versus the mercenary Garrison Creed. So you couldn't ask for 3 of the best Midwest talent going today, fighting for the title.
No, I was going to say, I've seen Marche many times. I know him fairly well. One of the best in the area. And the other 2 guys I haven't seen quite as much, but the reputation is there. And I'm really looking forward to that match, as well as the other ones too. But, that's a main event that could be on Impact, on A&E or AEW, anywhere.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. That's the reason why I put that match together. Is like, okay, if I'm a fan, the main event is usually the biggest ticket seller. What would I put myself in a fan perspective, instead of a promoter's perspective. And it was, what match would I want to go pay to go see? And I couldn't think of those 3 guys right there. I was like, you know what? They have never wrestled each other in a triple threat match. And that would be really good to watch. So, yeah, it was an easy decision to make.
And for your inaugural champ, that's crazy. That alone, just to crowning the first champ of Chicagoland Championship Wrestling, is going to be really cool.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen the title belt. It's impressive.
Yeah, and it'll also be seen by 150 million subscribers on Amazon Prime too. So, fans come out to the show, you'll be seen on TV, and it's going to be a great night of wrestling.
Well, that was one of my questions. Where can they see it on pay-per-view? And you just answered that. But I do have a bunch of other questions that the fans have sent me after our last interview heading into the show. So if you don't mind, I'd like to ask a few of them. Nothing too in-depth. Nobody's asking for behind-the-scenes, secrets. The first question I had is, you're having a heavyweight title at this show. Will you be adding other titles in the future?
Yes. We are planning to have a King of the Royal event, kind of like our Royal Rumble for the Midwest. That will be to crown the television champion. And also we are going to have the first annual Christopher Martinez Memorial Cup Tag League Tournament. And that would crown, if I am correct with how we got everything going, to crown the first Cup League winners. And so for fans of tag team wrestling, that's going to be a night of some of the best Midwest tag teams, biting to become the first ever, Memorial Cup champs.
Well, that's really cool because tag teams, thanks to the WWE, I think tag teams have gotten the short shaft on a lot of things, and it's cool to see you putting a little emphasis on that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've loved tag. Growing up in the South, tag team wrestling was like religion to us. You got the Rock and Roll Express Midnight. You had the Road Warriors. Of course, rest in peace, Animal, who passed away sadly today.
Exactly.
But the Fantastics, Von Erichs. I mean, it's just growing up in the South. That was just bread and butter for that region was good tag team wrestling, and so I think tag team wrestling has been kind of ignored for such a long time, but it's one of the things that I want to bring back with Chicagoland Championship Wrestling is a heavy emphasis of having great tag teams.
And what about women? Will there be women wrestling at all?
That is one of the things I'm actually working on as well too, is having a really strong women's division.
Okay. And will you be going, other than the Michigan City location, and not necessarily asking for specifics, but will you be taking Chicagoland Championship Wrestling out to other locations in the future?
Yep. Yes. Right now, we're just kind of waiting because, of course, with COVID-19, a lot of areas you have heavy restrictions on doing shows. Also in Northwest Indiana, which is still part of the Chicagoland region, we do have plans to go into Illinois and some other parts of the country too, with the area that we're located in. So there's going to be different venues as well.
Cool. Road tripping with CCW. I'm in, man.
Hey, best way to do it, right?
Exactly. Now you brought up COVID, so that leads me to another question. What sort of COVID restrictions or precautions? How is that going to tie in with your show?
Well, with the show, we're still in an area. I know. I think Illinois is too. They still have the mask mandate. You have to wear a mask.
Right.
I will be there to greet the fans while they have their tickets. I'll let this be known. If you have a pre-ordered ticket, please be there early as possible. 5:45 p.m. The fans already bought their tickets online that have received it in the mail. Show your tickets, and I'll bring you to your seats. While I'm doing that, I'll also have a temperature gun, and I'll be checking everyone's temperature as well too, to make sure that there's no illness or trying to provide comfort for people who have fears of maybe someone might have COVID. I'm also going to have hand sanitizer on hand too for fans, so that way we're all clean, we're all sanitary, and I'm still going to try to do social distancing as well too for the seating.
Cool. And speaking of fans getting in early and interaction, all that, will there be interaction with the wrestlers? Will there be photo opportunities before intermission, before or after?
Oh yes, yeah. We'll have a merchandise table set up, and wrestlers will be there to talk to the fans and take photos with them and do meet and greets.
And I have to compliment you. I've seen when fans are ordering tickets, I see you're doing something completely unprecedented. You're writing thank you letters, and I think that's an extremely cool procedure, I guess, for lack of a better term, that you're doing. I know a few of my friends have gotten it, and they were just bowled over because, with no offense to any of the other promoters in the area, nobody does that. It's an amazing personal touch that you're providing.
Well, two people influenced me on this. One is my greatest role model in sports, the late great Montreal Canadiens player John Beliveau. Anytime a fan would write him a letter, he didn't have the whole secretary type it up and then sign it. He would personally sit there and write each letter. He didn't care if it was 1,000 fans. He would write 1,000 personal letters, talking to that person and to them. Instead of, oh, hey, thanks, have a nice day. It was, well, yeah, nice to meet you, and thank you for being a supporter, and I'd like to get to know you for who you are. And it's just, and he was just such a beloved person because he was such a gentleman, the way he treated people. And my wife and I, we always thought that was such an amazing, excuse me from slurring words, such an amazing thing that he did. When we were tickets being sold, we came up with the idea, why don't we send people letters too? And that way we're letting our fans know not just, oh, hi, thanks for supporting us, but thank you for being a fan of wrestling. And I know it's a troublesome time of 2020, but, you stick with us and we're going to do our best to give you a great show. And, I think as a kid, nothing better when you buy a ticket than the owner of a company actually writes you a letter and personally thank you. Maybe it's a little memento for some people. Some people might just throw it away. But I think for a wrestling fan, they say, what, this guy took his time to say thank you. That's really cool. And I try to be the most humble and most friendliest promoter for fans to encounter and talk to, and people in the media. You know, to me, I see myself as a guy who got lucky in business. You know, I was just a 16-year-old kid who got broken into the wrestling business because I had a school teacher that her son happened to be a professional wrestler, and somehow she found out how much I had passion for it, and she's like, "Yeah, you know what? Give it a try." You know, and that day forward, I got the chance to work with a lot of my heroes. Got to work in television and radio as well. You know, I'm just, to me, I might be the owner of a company that's going on television. And I might be considered the next big guy in this area, but to me, I'm still John. I'm still just the guy who got lucky, and I still to this day have no problem shaking everyone's hand. Thinking,
Well, again, I think it's a real nice touch. And I think it goes a long way. You know, fan appreciation is a term often thrown around, but you're doing something with it. And on behalf of the fans, I appreciate it and I thank you for it. It's funny that you mentioned Bellevue because I actually have one of those letters from him. Because yeah, I do. I've you know, a decent sized autograph collection, and I sent him a puck many years ago, and he was very kind enough to sign the puck and to you know, write a letter. So yeah, it's funny that you mentioned him.
yeah, what an amazing man, really was.
Now, a question that I have, I've heard this little rumor. They're not on the card. I've heard this rumor of this Chicago connection coming to your show. Do you know anything
Yeah,
about these guys?
you know, I know PL Myers, Incognito Jones, and I know that Mr. Jones bought a ticket, but then I got the message of like, yeah, we're going to be at your show, and I was like, oh, that's, you know, thanks for the support. And the message I got back was, we're going to be at your show, and we're going to have something we have to say. And I'm just sitting back thinking, it's like, what is this? Was, you know, and so yeah, we got a lot of security. A lot of people are kind of, well, looking out for those guys, seeing what they're up to.
Well,
So
that
it's I know they could be a handful.
yeah, I mean, they've been a presence on the scene for 20 years. That could be that could be a bit of a surprise. I don't know what's going on there. I see very
That's,
secretive with those guys.
yeah, not sure. I'm trying to message Paul Myers and PL Myers about that, and then ask him like, well, what is it you have planned? And all they say is, well, you just have to wait and find out, buddy.
No,
And
he's
it's,
tight-lipped, man. I'm tight with the guy, and I asked him about it. He's not telling me anything.
yeah, and you know everything. I mean, you're one of the guys early meet, you know.
I
You
know
know,
nothing, man. I'm a hack. So another couple of guys, I'm really interested in this. I won't hear it at the show, but your announce team, I think is outstanding. You know, a lot of companies just throw two guys on there. The guys that you picked, Steve and Joey, I think this is going to be amazing.
I think a lot of people, when they watch them work together, that I mean, I don't want to put them on this pedestal too early, but I think they really are this talented. I think we're going to have almost the closest thing to a modern day Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan,
Now,
because Joey's such a quick-witted, comical person,
yeah,
you know, and Steve is such a knowledgeable guy on wrestling. He knows his history. He knows everyone that's in that match. He does his homework. He's very smart. A lot of people don't give Steve credit. Steve's very talented at what he does, and I think those two together, that's going to be a very entertaining combination.
I think it's going to be dynamite, man. Now, one other question that before I let you go, aside from the pay-per-view aspect on Amazon, is it going to be able to be purchased like in DVD form or downloaded or anything?
Yes. I'm only working on that as well too. To have them available for DVDs and also for MP3s, for people that do the downloads. We're going to work on that too. For that, we're also going to try to add it to different wrestling apps as well too, so fans can actually
Wow.
watch it not just on Amazon Prime, but we're also working on get it on Fight TV and also on Internet Wrestling Television once that's launched. Also, currently now in the works of working with Comcast Chicago to have all of our shows aired in throughout all the metropolitan area of Chicago.
That'd be big. And I think it's going to happen. And I can't wait for it. Before I let you go, sir, and I appreciate your time this time and last time and in the future, because I'm already asking you for a future interview here. It's on camera, you can't refuse. Give a last plug. Tell people why they should come out to the show. Tell people where they can find information about it.
Well, for the fans, if you want to come out to the show, if you've been stuck at home, you've been bored out of your mind, you want to go something, you have the wife and the kids, or just want to get out of the house and have a great time, come on down to Michigan City, Indiana. I'm telling you, $10 for a ticket, $30 for a family of four. You can't even go into an AMC movie theater nowadays for that type of price. And we're going to give you a 2.5, 3 hour show. And you're being seen on TV on top of that. We're going to have some great concessions. If you like to have a beer as well, we have a bar there at the building, so you have to go out and have a cold suds and have a great time. If you want to buy a ticket, go to ChicagolandChampionshipWrestling.com, our menu page. Go to the event page, and you can see the tickets there. And also for a lot of the fans, we're going to have a select amount of tickets at the door as well. So we're going to pack it out. The most important thing is every man and woman working for this company have been busting tails to make sure that they give the fans themselves their money's worth. And I tell you what, I'm excited.
I'm excited. I have no doubt people are going to get their money's worth. I can't wait for it. John, I appreciate your time. I will see you in about 9 days, my friend.
Yes, sir. And I'm looking forward to Johnny, and I appreciate you so much, buddy.
Thank you for your time, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thank you.